I got the letter on a Thursday. White envelope. No return address. Marked final notice in bold red. I opened it in the truck while Melissa was inside grabbing groceries. I figured it was junk, maybe a mistake. But the first line hit like a brick to the ribs. Your loan is in default. Property will be scheduled for foreclosure in 21 days unless immediate action is taken. I blinked. We weren't rich, but we were never behind. Mortgage was auto-paid. Had been since we bought the place 6 years ago. I worked full-time. Melissa ran admin at the hospital. We didn't splurge. Didn't miss bills. I read it twice. Then a third time. Melissa climbed into the passenger seat with her usual smile and a bag of produce. Everything okay? I held the letter up. This came. She glanced down, then back at me. What the hell? That's got to be a mix-up. I paid it last month. We're 2 months behind. What? No. Something's off. I'll call the bank tomorrow. Probably a processing issue. They had some system update, remember? She rattled it off fast. Too fast. My stomach tightened. That night, after she went to bed, I checked our online banking. The mortgage auto-pay had been paused 60 days ago. Next, I checked our joint savings account. There was $62,000 in that account 2 months ago. Now, just under $500. Gone. Vanished. No major payments. No car purchases. No hospital bills. Just a series of quiet ATM withdrawals. $800. $1,000. $600. Spread across multiple machines in the city. No pattern. No trail. Except one. All the cash came out late at night. Usually the same nights she said she had yoga or was staying over at Rachel's place. I didn't sleep. Next morning, she made coffee like nothing happened. Said she'd call the bank after work. She left her laptop open on the counter. I opened it. Email drafts. Receipts. Most cleared out. But one PDF was still sitting in the downloads folder. File name. P.O. Box Renewal. Carson. 6mo.pdf. That wasn't our name. That wasn't our address. But it was our money. Melissa didn't notice I was different that morning. She packed her lunch, kissed me on the cheek, and walked out the door like she wasn't carrying a bomb in her purse. I sat at the kitchen table staring at my phone screen, refreshing the account like something might magically show back up. Nothing. Still $487.19 in savings. I wasn't stupid. I knew money could disappear quick. Medical bills, family emergencies, car repairs. But we hadn't had any of that. Not on paper. Not in our life. So I started digging. The bank log showed 41 ATM withdrawals over 9 weeks. Different amounts. Different days. But always after 8 p.m. And always from terminals that weren't anywhere near our house. One was in a gas station 20 miles north. Another from an ATM inside a liquor store off I-74. A few were in strip malls near the train station. And one, just one, was next to a small business mailbox center in a neighborhood I hadn't stepped foot in since college. That name from the file on her laptop? Carson. I searched it. Got nothing local. No family on her side with that name. Not a coworker either. I would have remembered. So I checked the P.O. Box Center. Called pretending to confirm a delivery. I have a package for a Carson Fields, box 382. Yeah, the guy said. That one's active. I drove there after lunch. Old storefront. Faded signage. Rows of rusted boxes inside. Box 382 had a nameplate. C. Fields. I waited. Watched the door for over an hour. No one showed. But there was a posted pickup log taped behind the counter. Left in view by accident. Or maybe by stupidity. I caught a glimpse when the guy stepped away. Fields, March 2nd, March 5th, March 9th, March 12th, March 16th. Same dates as her withdrawals. I took a photo and left. That night, I asked her, "Hey, were you at yoga last Friday?" "Yeah." "Why?" "Just wondering. Thought I saw your car headed west." She smiled. No pause. No twitch. Just instinct. We went to a new place. In Westport. She was good. Practiced. Too practiced. I went for the throat. "Do you know a Carson Fields?" Fork halfway to her mouth. "Who?" "Carson Fields. P.O. Box. I found a receipt on your laptop." She put the fork down slow. "George, are you going through my files?" "Answer the question." "I don't know any Carson." "Why would I?" $60,000 is missing. And your name's on the withdrawal trail. Now the panic hit. She blinked. Eyes darted. I moved some money. I didn't think it was that much. I've been covering some things. Premiums. Back charges. A few things I didn't want to stress you out with. What things? Health stuff? Family stuff? George, can we please just... You said we were broke because of the insurance. That we were about to lose the house. But you had time to pull out $800 at a gas station 20 miles away from our home. Silence. You're lying to me. She stood up, arms crossed. I don't have to take this interrogation. I'm not your child. No, but you were living in my house. And you're draining our accounts without a single receipt to show for it. She walked out of the room. No answers. Just distance. I opened the laptop again that night. And that's when I found it. A single PDF hidden in her browser's recent files. It was a scanned check, made out to Carson Fields, for $1,200. Memo line, rent support. Signed, Melissa D. She wasn't paying a bill. She was paying a man. I wasn't guessing anymore. I wasn't asking. I was building a case. The next morning, I took a sick day. Told Melissa I was heading into a job site outside town. She nodded, barely looking up from her phone. She didn't know I had the name, the P.O. box, and a copy of the check she wrote to him. And I wasn't going to waste another second pretending I believed her premium payment story. First stop was the P.O. box again. This time, I didn't just watch. I waited 2 hours, ate breakfast in the truck, scanned everyone who walked in. And finally, around 11:30, a guy stepped out of an old gray Civic. Hoodie, ball cap, kept his head down. Walked in, punched in the code, pulled out a few envelopes. Didn't even glance up. He looked average. Not a drug dealer. Not a hustler. Just some guy. I followed him out, slow, one car back. He drove across town to a strip of long-term motels. Not even the decent ones. Rosewood Inn. Weekly rates, busted neon, smokers leaning on railings. He parked. Room 206. I waited for him to go inside, then checked the mailbox rack. Each room had a slot. Room 206, C, Fields. I drove to the next lot and called the front desk from my phone. I'm trying to send a care package to a guest, Carson Fields, room 206. Can you confirm if he's checked in long-term? He's on weekly renewal, the woman said. Been here a while. Thanks. Back in my truck, I stared at the address. Then pulled up our bank records again. The withdrawals matched the dates Carson had been staying there to the day. Same ATM radius. Same amounts. And then I saw it. 3 direct Zelle transfers. From her personal account. Not the joint one. Amounts, $800, $1,100, and $750. Memo on each, for food, utilities, room. My blood ran cold. This wasn't charity. This wasn't help. This was sustained financial support. And it wasn't anonymous. I walked into the front office. Gave the clerk $20 and said I needed to leave something at room 206 but wasn't sure if he was in. You can leave it at the door. Is he usually home? She shrugged. Depends. He works odd jobs. Comes and goes. Sometimes she's the one dropping stuff off. She, his girl, drives a gray Mazda. Always wears sunglasses. Doesn't talk. I stared at her. Melissa drives a gray Mazda. I left. Didn't knock. Didn't confront. Not yet. Instead, I drove home and pulled every old tax return, account statement, and document I could find. Buried in our 2020 folder, scanned into her computer under Charity, Miscellaneous was a loan agreement. Not legally binding. Just typed. Borrower, Carson Fields. Loan amount, $12,000. Repayment plan, deferred. Signature, Melissa D. She loaned him money. Then she gave him more. And then she lied to my face about it all. I called a contact. Guy I knew from my brother's old construction crew. You ever run background on someone? Every week. Who you got? Name's Carson Fields. Lives in a motel. I need to know who he is, where he's from, and why my wife's been bankrolling him. You'll have it in 48. 41 withdrawals. That number hit harder every time I looked at the spreadsheet I built. I color-coded them by location, date, and amount. Mapped them against her calendar. Overlaid them with mileage from her car's GPS, which, by the way, she still didn't know I had access to. The pattern was clean. Chilling, even. Every week, On the same night she said she had yoga or girls' night, she was pulling between $600 and $1,000. Then driving 15 to 30 minutes out to either the P.O. box or the Rosewood Inn. Never back-to-back visits. Always staggered. Always spaced. It wasn't frantic. It was structured. 2 days later, my contact called. Guy's name is real. Carson Fields. 45. Used to be a contractor. Did demo work, electrical installs. Business went under 2 years ago. Why? Divorce. Got messy. He got hit with a fraud charge, pulled permits on jobs he never did. Beat the case, but lost his license. Filed for bankruptcy. He's been bouncing since. County assistants, gig apps, part-time night shift at a bottle depot. 0 assets. Criminal record? Technically no. But flagged twice for harassment. Both exes. Charges dropped. I said nothing. Oh, and one more thing. He used to live 3 blocks from your wife. 10 years ago. Before you two were married. So she knew him. Way back. Before she was Mrs. Daniels. Before the house. Before everything. She knew him, and now she was keeping him afloat. That night, I waited until she was in the shower and checked her purse. Wallet. Keys. Lip balm. And an envelope. Inside, $500 in cash, banded with a receipt from a convenience store 10 blocks from the Rosewood Inn. ATM fee still printed on the bottom. I put it back without a word. She came out in a towel, humming. Said she was exhausted. Kissed my cheek. Asked if I wanted tea. I said no. You okay? Yeah. You've been quiet lately. Just tired. She smiled. Like she still thought I believed every word. Next morning, I tailed her. Didn't say goodbye. Let her leave first. Waited 10 minutes. Then followed. No yoga mat in the car. No gym clothes. She drove straight out of town. Same route. Stopped at a Shell. Pulled cash. Then headed right to the Rosewood Inn. Didn't knock. Didn't hesitate. She walked straight into room 206. I parked 2 lots over. Watched her stay inside for 47 minutes. She came out alone. Didn't cry. Didn't look around. Just adjusted her purse and drove off like nothing happened. That night, I asked her, "You into yoga?" "Yeah." "You didn't look sweaty." She laughed. We talked more than stretched. She was still lying, but not even trying hard anymore. Because she thought I'd never confront her. That I'd go along with it. That I'd save the house while she burned through her life behind the scenes. She didn't know I already had everything. And soon, so would he. I waited until Friday. Melissa always worked late Fridays. Claimed her team used it to wrap up the week. What she didn't know was I'd already confirmed with the hospital she'd left early the last 3 Fridays. So this time, I left first. I parked 2 blocks away from the Rosewood Inn. Walked the last stretch. Hat low. Hoodie up. Room 206. The same gray Civic sat out front. I knocked. Nothing. Knocked again, louder. The door creaked open 2 inches. He was older than I expected. Gray at the temples. Face soft, but not weak. Eyes sharp. Alert. "Yeah. You're Carson Fields." "Who's asking?" "Melissa's husband." Pause. He opened the door the rest of the way. Didn't step back. Didn't act surprised. Inside, the room was clean. Sparse. 2 chairs, small table, 1 bed. There was a pizza box in the trash. 2 soda cans. 1 toothbrush. "You here to hit me?" "No. Just talk." "That's worse." "Then sit down and make it quick." He sat. I stood. "She's been giving you money." "Thousands." "Yeah." "For what?" "You know damn well what for." "Tell me anyway." He rubbed his jaw. "Because I asked." "Because she offered." "Because I'm not the monster you probably think I am." "You used to live near her." 10 years ago. We were together for 6. My blood iced. "Together?" "Yeah. On and off." "She left." "You came after." "You too. Stayed in contact?" "Not at first. Not until she found out I got clean. Reached out a year ago." "And just like that she starts paying your rent?" He shook his head. "Not at first. We talked. She felt bad. Said she never gave me closure. Then said she wanted to help. That she owed me." "She doesn't owe you anything." "You sure about that?" He reached into a drawer. Pulled out a manila envelope. Tossed it on the table. "I was going to mail this. Guess it's better coming from you." I opened it. Inside, printed screenshots. Text messages. Email printouts. Pictures. One of them was Melissa, 5 years younger, naked in a mirror shot I'd never seen before. Date stamped 3 weeks before our wedding. Below it, a message. I don't want to do this, but I have to. I need something stable. Then, he's good to me, but I don't love him like I loved you. Another message 6 months later. He still doesn't know. I couldn't tell him. I needed out. I stood there reading, heart locked in my chest. She used you. Then me. Now she's back to you. Carson looked up. I didn't ask for her to come back. I didn't even answer the first few times. But she kept showing up. Kept bringing money. Kept saying she just wanted to help me get clean. Did you sleep with her? No. Not once since she married you. I looked at him hard. But she wanted to? He nodded once. She still does. I left without a word. No threats. No punches. Just took the folder and walked out. Because there was nothing left to say. And now? I had proof. She hadn't just drained our money. She hadn't just lied. She'd planned this. Before I said, I do. Before we bought the house. Before any of it. I didn't go home that night. I drove to my brother's place, let myself into his basement guest room, and sat in the dark staring at Carson's folder. The longer I looked at the messages, the more everything clicked. Melissa hadn't been helping him. She'd been controlling him. One screenshot stuck out. I gave you everything, Carson. I covered you when no one else would. Don't make me regret that. Another. You don't want me to stop paying. You know what happens then. She hadn't just been making payments. She was issuing warnings. She used the money to keep him quiet. To keep me in the dark. And Carson? He took the cash, swallowed the shame, and played along. Why? Because he knew what Melissa could do when she was cornered. I checked the burner folder I'd built. Every withdrawal. Every gas receipt. Every fake excuse logged by date and cross-matched with ATM pings. I added Carson's printouts to it. Numbered them. Timestamped them. One more section. Title: Premarital Fraud, Concealed Relationship Evidence. At 6:42 a.m., Melissa called. I didn't answer. At 6:50, she texted. You didn't come home. What's going on? At 7:10. I'm starting to worry. Just call me. I turned off the notifications. I walked into the bank at 9 a.m. sharp. Requested to meet the branch manager. Showed him our account activity. Showed him the joint ownership. Then handed over a notarized order from my lawyer. All joint activity frozen. Melissa wouldn't see it yet, but the moment she tried to pull another dollar, she'd know. Next stop, my lawyer's office. You're sure you want to move forward? He asked. No, but she made the decision for both of us. We drafted the paperwork. Pre-divorce asset hold. Emergency financial protection. And a temporary protection notice for Carson, in case she decided to retaliate. At 1:17 p.m., Melissa finally sent the message I'd been waiting for. We need to talk. Something happened at the bank. They're saying our account is frozen? I let it sit. An hour later, another one. George. Seriously, what are you doing? I sent one reply. Just a screenshot of a message from her to Carson. Don't forget who controls the money. No caption. No explanation. She read it in less than a minute. Didn't respond. I walked back into our house at 6 p.m. She was sitting at the kitchen table. Pale. Silent. 2 glasses of wine untouched. What did you do? She whispered. You mean after I found out you were feeding your ex cash for over a year? He needed help. No. He needed distance. You needed leverage. It wasn't like that. I dropped the folder in front of her. You want to flip through that and try again? She opened it. Her eyes scanned the first 3 pages. Then she closed it. You're going to throw away 12 years over something that didn't even go that far. You made it go that far before I ever had a chance to say I do. She didn't cry. Didn't argue. Just stared at the counter like it might swallow her. What now? Now I give you what you wanted. What's that? Separation. Silence. And every single dollar you're not entitled to. I spent the weekend in silence. She stayed in the bedroom. I stayed in the garage, organizing boxes that didn't need organizing. Running the same thoughts over and over like a worn engine. She hadn't just lied. She hadn't just cheated emotionally. She had risked our home. Our future. The one thing I worked for every day for 20 years. And not because she had to. Because she planned to. Monday morning, I logged into her work laptop. It was synced to our home Wi-Fi. One of those passive syncs she never disabled. I didn't even need a password. I just opened the browser history. Third tab from the top. Can I protect assets during foreclosure if I divorce? I clicked. It led to a legal blog. I read it. Twice. The summary. If she divorced me after the house went into default and before foreclosure completed, she could claim innocence. She could say she wasn't responsible for the financial mismanagement and potentially walk away with her name clear and a shot at half the remaining liquid assets, if there were any left. If she left before foreclosure hit, she'd take the financial hit with me. But if she waited just a little longer, she could walk clean. I kept digging. She had a folder named Personal Planning. Inside were PDF printouts of real estate listings for one-bedroom apartments in a nearby city, an application for a housing voucher, a job inquiry email to a former colleague sent under a private Gmail, a draft text message to someone labeled CF, Carson. It's almost over. I just need the timing to line up. Date stamped. 2 weeks before I got the foreclosure letter. She wasn't trying to fix the mortgage issue. She was writing it out, waiting for it to fail, using it as her escape hatch. That night, I sat across from her at the kitchen table. She didn't speak, just watched me stack the papers, one by one, in front of her. Why didn't you just leave? She looked down, didn't answer. You weren't trying to save anything. You weren't even trying to hide it anymore. It got complicated. No, it got convenient. For you. She wiped her face, but there were no tears. I was scared. Of being caught. Of being stuck. I stared at her. This wasn't a person who made a mistake. This was someone who made a calculated sequence of decisions, knowing where each one would land. She would have let the house fall. Let me carry the debt. Let the bank get our savings while she walked away with a suitcase and a cleaned-up name. I'm not here to fix it, I said finally. Then what are you here for? To make sure the next man you try this with sees who you really are. I didn't yell. Didn't smash anything. Didn't storm out or throw down ultimatums. That would have given her power. Given her something to spin. Instead, I gave her silence and a shot at redemption she didn't deserve. I wanted to see what she'd do with it. Saturday, 6:42 p.m. I told her we should talk. She looked suspicious, but sat down anyway. Same kitchen table. Same wine glass. She poured hers half full. Mine stayed empty. I slid the folder across to her. She stared at it, hand resting on the cover. What is this? You already know. She didn't open it. Didn't need to. She was waiting for me to say the first real accusation out loud, so she could twist it. You want to talk about Carson? She said it like I was crazy. Like she was amused I'd even bring him up. He reached out. He was in trouble. I helped. That's it. You helped him with 42 cash withdrawals, 3 personal transfers, and a check marked rent support? She blinked. I was trying to protect you. From what? The truth. From debt. From his threats. He said if I didn't help, he'd show you things. Like the text you wrote him before we were married? Silence. The photo you sent him? The one dated 3 weeks before our wedding. She looked away. So it wasn't blackmail, I said. It was insurance. George. You kept him afloat to keep your lies buried. You gambled our house to control the fallout. It wasn't like that. Then what was it? She finally opened the folder. Flipped through it with hands that weren't as steady as they were 2 weeks ago. Stopped at the email she wrote to her friend about timing the separation. I was trying to figure out how to leave without ruining your life. You mean without ruining your name? I stood up, walked around the table, pulled a flash drive from my pocket. Everything you said? I recorded it. Her mouth opened. You didn't. You've been recording lies. I recorded the truth. That's illegal. Not in this state. She stood up, face flushed now. You're going to ruin me over this? You ruined yourself. You said we'd talk. We did. And now I'm done. I left the flash drive on the counter. Next to it, a single-page printout. Dissolution of marriage, uncontested, initiated by George Daniels. She didn't call, didn't follow, didn't try to stop me. She knew. This wasn't a warning. It was the hammer. Monday morning. Courthouse doors opened at 8 o'clock. I was standing on the steps at 7:55. No hesitation. No nerves. Just paperwork, and the kind of clarity you only get after someone tries to ruin you and almost gets away with it. The packet was thick. 67 pages. Divorce filing. Emergency injunctions. Full evidence attachments, withdrawals, screenshots, text logs, the fake loan to Carson, and the email planning her quiet exit. I handed it over to the clerk. Stamped. Filed. Done. She'll be served within 48 hours, the clerk said. She'll get it sooner than that, I told her, because I already had a process server in place. She'd get it at work, in front of her peers. She wanted out quietly? Too bad. By 11:30, I had every shared account frozen. Bank accounts. Credit cards. The auto debit tied to the mortgage. I filed a lien notice on the house under protective separation status. She wouldn't be able to refinance. Wouldn't be able to sell. Wouldn't be able to touch a dollar. At 2:12 p.m., Melissa texted me. I tried to pay the mortgage. They said I'm locked out. What's going on? George, we need to talk. Now. You're being insane. You're ruining everything. I didn't reply. Instead, I sent her one thing. A PDF of her own typed message to Carson. It's almost over. I just need the timing to line up. Below it, I added. So do I. That evening, I sat on the back porch, cold beer in hand, watched the sun drop behind the trees while her name on my phone kept buzzing unanswered. It felt like the quiet before a storm I wasn't afraid of anymore. 2 days later, a letter arrived. No return address. Her handwriting. 4 lines. I made a mistake, but I didn't mean for it to go this far. If there's a version of this where we survive, I'm asking you to find it. I burned it in the fire pit. Watched the flames fold the paper into smoke. Didn't even blink. She wasn't sorry she betrayed me. She was sorry I didn't stay blind. The house was hers when it was comfortable. She posted photos of it every season. Spring porch planters. Summer lights on the deck. Pumpkin spice everything in the fall. Christmas trees in every damn window. All captioned like she was the reason we had it. But when the money dried up, when the payments slipped, when the foreclosure notice came, suddenly it was our problem. Suddenly, I was supposed to fix it. She really thought I'd keep paying for the roof while she fed her ex cash on the side. She thought I'd take the hit, patch the cracks, and stay behind like some faithful fool waiting to rebuild while she moved on in secret. So I did what she never expected. I let the house burn. Not literally, but symbolically. I sold it out from under her. 2 weeks after filing, I contacted the lender directly, gave them full evidence of financial misconduct, explained the divorce proceedings, the freeze order, and the intent to dissolve all shared property. They gave me options. Keep the house and absorb the debt. Or sell it as is, walk away clean. I chose clean. She got the letter the same day she got her court summons. I was already packed. I stayed just long enough to see her face when she pulled into the driveway and saw the for sale sign in the yard. She stormed out of the car, shaking. What the hell is this? Your exit plan. Remember? You can't sell this without me. Watch me. She ran toward the door. I tossed the keys in the flower bed and walked straight past her. I moved into a place half the size and twice as quiet. New locks. New town. New account with 0 names but mine on it. She tried to reach me once more. Email this time. A soft apology. You were right. I lost something good. I hope you don't hate me. I didn't reply. Because I didn't hate her. You have to care to hate. And I didn't care anymore. The bank closed the file. The sale cleared. She got nothing. No house. No money. No name. She tried to outplay me. She forgot who paid for the board in the first place. She thought I'd carry the wreckage for both of us. She thought I'd rebuild after the fire. She thought I'd wait. But instead, I let it all burn. And I didn't even look back.